Hi, I'm Anna, and welcome back to the D3 Audible cheat sheets and the concluding episode on Burgundy. Burgundy's wine business cannot be understood without one word: scarcity. Everything, structure, pricing, producer power, flows from the fact that Burgundy produces relatively little wine from very fragmented vineyards in a region where yields are volatile. Historically, much of Burgundy's trade went through large négociants. These houses bought grapes, must, or finished wine from growers, then vinified, blended, bottled, and sold under their own names. Many of these négociants date back to the 19th century and remain highly respected even today. Since the 1980s, however, there has been a significant shift toward domain bottling. Improved viticulture, better technical training, and rising global demand encouraged growers to bottle and sell wines under their own names, capturing more value and building reputations tied directly to site. That doesn't mean negotiants disappeared. Instead, Burgundy developed a more complex ecosystem. Today, there are several types of organization. Growers own vineyards and sell grapes or unfinished wine, often with holdings spread across parcels in different villages. Domains own vineyards, make wine from them, and sell under their own labels. Negociants buy grapes or wine, finish and bottle them under their own names. Micro-négociants are smaller operations sourcing fruit from very good to top vineyards, making wine in small volumes and selling under their own names. Cooperatives play a smaller role in the Côte d'Or, but a more important one in Chablis and the Mâconnais, and to a lesser extent in the Côte Chalonnais. There are also hybrid models. Some domains act as négociants as well, bottling estate wines under one label and purchasing fruit under another. Another layer of complexity comes from inheritance laws. Multiple producers can have very similar names, and detailed knowledge is often needed to identify the source of a particular wine. One of the most important quality drivers in modern Burgundy is people. Many younger winemakers are better trained technically and have traveled and made wine more widely. This has encouraged a more adaptable, open minded approach to viticulture and winemaking, contributing to rising overall quality. Routes to market vary widely. Wine may be sold directly to consumers at the cellar door, through negociants or cooperatives, through specialist retailers, or directly to restaurants. Direct to consumer sales are increasing, as are direct sales from producers to final retailers. In volume terms, about half of Burgundy's wine is sold in France and half exported. The largest export markets by volume are the USA, the UK, and Canada, with Japan ranking third by value. Price formation in Burgundy is complex but logical. Both the name of the domain and the level of the appellation are critical drivers of price. Highly regarded domains can command super premium prices even for village wines, sometimes exceeding the price of premier crus from lesser producers. Single vineyard names also trade on stylistic reputation: steely versus powerful, elegant versus robust, which merchants and consumers understand and value. Wines may be sold en primeur through specialist wine shops, fine dining, and at generic and village levels, through supermarkets and hospitality. Land prices have risen sharply in recent years. Scarcity of sought after vineyard names, combined with foreign buyers entering the market, has increased pressure on land value. High land price, rising global demand, small production volume, and dramatic vintage to vintage fluctuations due to weather hazards have driven prices substantially higher since the mid 2000s. To put this into perspective, Total Burgundy production is roughly one quarter of Bordeaux's. Domaine de la Romanie Conti produces about one quarter of the volume of Chateau Lafite Rothschild's Grand Vin. And on the secondary market, prices have surged. The Liv-ex Burgundy 150 index rose by 200% between 2003 and 2016. So that's the Burgundy's wine business, a market defined not by expansion but by constraint, where place, producer, and scarcity combine to shape price more powerfully than almost anywhere else in the wine world. And that concludes the podcast on Burgundy's Audible cheat sheets. I'll see you at the next episode.